Daniel Morgan, a single father raising his young daughter Emily, had spent years trying to make ends meet. Life hadn't been kind to him. He had lost his wife to illness, worked long hours at the factory, and fought every day to give Emily the childhood she deserved. Yet, despite the exhaustion and the loneliness, he had a heart that refused to harden. One late afternoon, as Daniel was walking through the marketplace, he noticed a small crowd gathered near a worn-down stall. The sound of weeping caught his attention. Pushing through, he saw two little girls, no older than 7 or 8, bound and trembling. Their faces were streaked with tears and dirt, and they clung to each other like lifelines. The man standing nearby barked orders, holding a crude wooden sign. "For sale, 2 orphans, cheapest bid wins." Daniel's stomach turned. The girl's stepmother, he learned, had cruelly sold them after years of mistreatment, seeing them as nothing more than a way to make quick money. Without hesitation, Daniel stepped forward. "I'll take them," he said firmly, pulling a wad of cash from his coat. The crowd murmured in surprise, some laughing, others shaking their heads. He didn't care. All that mattered was the trembling girls before him. The moment the transaction was complete, Daniel knelt before the twins. "It's okay. You're safe now," he said, untying their bindings. The girls stared at him, unsure whether to cry or run. One finally whispered, You really bought us." "Yes," Daniel said, "I did, and I promise no one will ever hurt you again." As they walked home together, the girls clung to each other and occasionally peeked at Daniel. He noticed their small, cautious smiles beginning to emerge amidst their tears. They whispered their names softly, Lily and Rose. He promised them a warm bath, food, and a bed that didn't smell of neglect. Back at his modest home, Daniel gave them a warm meal. Lily and Rose stared in awe at the simple comforts: a blanket that didn't smell of dust, a plate full of food, a bed that didn't creak. They had never experienced such care before. That night, Daniel tucked them into bed beside Emily, who had been watching the entire scene silently. "You can stay here as long as you need," he said gently. "You're part of our family now." The days that followed were filled with small discoveries. The girls were incredibly bright. Lily could memorize entire stories after hearing them once, and Rose had a knack for numbers far beyond her age. Yet they had been kept from school, forced to work instead. Daniel, stunned by their untapped potential, enrolled them immediately. But the biggest shock came when he learned their stepmother hadn't just been cruel. She had actively tried to erase their identities. Lily and Rose had letters, keepsakes, even drawings from their real mother, hidden under the floorboards of the house they'd run away from. Each piece revealed a love and life they had been robbed of. Daniel sat with them for hours, listening to their stories, reading the letters aloud, and helping them understand that the cruelty they endured wasn't their fault. Tears flowed freely, but so did laughter, as the girls realized that someone cared for them in a way their stepmother never had. As weeks turned into months, Daniel witnessed the twins bloom. They laughed freely, hugged Emily without fear, and began to trust again. Emily, for her part, took them under her wing, showing them the games, stories, and secrets of a loving sister. One evening, as Daniel watched the girls play in the yard, he realized something profound. The act of buying them had done more than save them from harm. It had given him a family he never thought he could have again. And what he learned about their past, their strength, resilience, and hidden talents shocked him to his core. These were not fragile children, they were survivors. And in their survival he found hope, love, and a renewed purpose. From that day on, the small house that had once felt empty rang with laughter and warmth. Daniel knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. He had 2 more children to raise, and their past would shadow them at times. But he also knew one undeniable truth: love, when chosen, could heal even the deepest wounds.